A T20 batting template on display by India. Smart, fast and impactful has gotten India to 196 after their 20 overs. Contributions from everyone in the batting. Surya missed out. Hardik got his 50. Virat got a quick fire 37. Rishabh got 36. Overall, I think India and cricket fans will be very happy to see a batting-friendly track and some sixes and fours all across the park. We're back at Cricbuzz Live. I've got Gilly and Zach with me. Gilly, Zach, it feels like we're watching T20 cricket that we're used to seeing. Those sixes which we've missed all through this tournament for the majority of the part. India will be happy with this, or do you think they missed out on a few runs?
India will be very happy. I think even though they've managed to score 196, the pitch, the nature of the pitch, it still looked like that two-paced nature that the ball where Virat Kohli, the one which he got out to, also stayed a little low. The ball which got Surya's wicket kicked nicely off the pitch. So I think this total should be enough for them to defend with the kind of bowling lineup they have and the kind of form bowlers have shown now in this tournament.
Gilly, they started off very quickly with what Rohit and Virat did. We spoke about them in our pre-match show and they went and fired those sixes and fours today. And Surya missed out, but everyone very quick and impactful in today's innings.
Absolutely. You said the word template. That's the template you want. It was a terrific start. And I would assume as Indian fans, looking at the scorecard and the fall of wickets, there was a reasonably consistent, a regular fall of wicket, which you don't want that, but the intent from everybody was outstanding. Even Surya, who misses out, but his first ball he hooks for six, and then got one, as you say, Zach, that just flew and was pretty much out of his control, that dismissal. Sometimes that happens on the day, but just the intent all the way down the order, I thought it was excellent. I thought Rohit tried to really get a hold of that power play. Fortune favours the brave, they say, and on this occasion it sort of half did. He got the start they wanted, but then he tried to keep going, didn't quite get it. But no, I thought that was a terrific team batting effort. Everyone came in and was prepared to put their wicket on the line or their pride on the line to do whatever the team needed, and that's a sign of a cohesive unit. And I think your point about the pitch is spot on. There's balls coming through with sort of dust coming up, and yet one flies. So look out when Jasprit gets unleashed on there.
But Zach, in the comm box, when you were chatting, they were 83 for 3 and you saw 200 on the cards because of the depth in batting that India has, and Hardik stood up to that occasion.
Yeah, and it's going to give them a lot of confidence. There's no doubt about that. To start with, the power play was very good. After that, also in that next block, 7 to 10, they managed to score 30. Even though they lost 2 wickets in that. But after that 11th over, I think Rishabh, even though he got out, he scored a 6 and a 4. As we were on the comm box, we were talking at that stage. Changed the gear, not in the other direction, but in the upward direction.
Yes.
So we actually were thinking that, okay, 2 wickets down, maybe they will look to consolidate between him and Shivam Dube. But Rishabh Pant doing Rishabh Pant things. He wants to take on the game all the time. Worked very well. And Hardik playing that superb knock of 50 made sure that India gets to a total which is going to be a winning total on this surface.
Yeah, that's a batting card that shows you no one's bothered about who's going to get acknowledged for the greatest contribution or who's going to be man of the match. It's just fearless batting to trying to achieve a collective goal. I thought it was really impressive.
Gilly, there is a left-hander who used to hit the ball and used to stay hit sitting in the studio. But there was another left-hander out there who was hitting those big sixes. When Shivam Dube hits those sixes, they really stay hit.
Oh, such a powerful man, isn't he? Often through the IPL, we heard Stephen Fleming talk in admiration of this young guy, that how vitally important he is to CSK, and eventually, he will be for India. And he's proven his worth today after a little dry spell where we were wondering, is he the right man? He proved that today. What did he end up with? It was
34 of
24. So with 3 sixes in there, I guess if you wanted to try to get a little bit pedantic and picky, you could say, okay, that's 18 off 3 balls. What are you doing with the 21 other deliveries? Is something holding you up? But I think that's the nature of his game. he wouldn't look to just block dots and then go for six. He'd try to score off every ball, but I think that was more reflective of what the pitch conditions are, that there is an ability there for the bowlers to control the run flow a little bit.
Yes.
But if you miss, the top players capitalise, and that's what Dubé did today. When he got his chance to go big, he cashed in.
Yes. Also, Zach, in the pre-match show, we discussed at length about Hardik the bowler, and the first innings, Hardik the batter has come to the party. How good is it to see Hardik get these runs?
I think that's great news. And I think on the whole, if you see how important his form was to this Indian lineup, because of the balance which he's going to provide. We did touch upon, and it's going to be a continuous process of saying the same thing again and again. With this playing 11, you need him to be in form. Because it just solves a whole lot of concerns around making sure that you're having the aggressive options. I think what India is able to achieve with his form, that you can have enough options with regard to seam-up bowlers and enough options with regard to spin bowlers. So like we were saying, Hardik the batter, not going to get that many opportunities, but he's making every opportunity count. That is just going to add on to his importance and his role.
Yes.
But Hardik the bowler is also going to be equally important for Indian team.
And what about his body language? Through the
So
IPL,
much calmer, so much calmer.
Absolutely, it just looks natural. But there was times when some of his batting partners were hitting sixes, and he was going up and smack, energised and into it. But it didn't look like sometimes in the IPL it looked a bit manufactured, a bit false. He was trying to exude this confidence and sort of being at peace with everything, but the world was swirling around, externally and probably internally a little bit. And that's a balance, isn't it? When you're putting yourself on that big stage, how well we can contain our emotions and not let anyone know what we're thinking and feeling. But I think it's a more natural.
Yeah, and also the fact that he's not the leader at this stage.
Yes.
So you can just get back to your basics, your zone, what process you want to follow to be ready for the game. When you are leading a side, you're not only carrying what you want to do with your game, but also what is required for the team, what kind of options I should be using, all those kind of things. And different players' form also bothers you as a leader, isn't it? So here, it's just about going back to doing what he wants to do.
Yes.
And that has simplified things for sure. And add to that, that camp right now, if you can see Rohit, the kind of leader he has been over the years, he understands every little things. He's going to give him enough confidence. Rahul Dravid and the coaching staff there is going to make sure that he's ready and he's just thinking in one direction rather than just having that scrambled thought process.
You spoke about the celebration after the sixes. There was lots of celebration because India hit 13 sixes today, the most that they have in a World Cup. So there was lots to celebrate about. But also, coming from the New York pitch onto this pitch, it's almost like a liberation they must be feeling, that they can go out. And like you said, it was two-pace, but still not what we saw in New York.
Relatively much easier. I mean, if you have to compare the two. And look, with the Indian team you've been talking about, what I'm liking right now is every thought which has gone into building up a squad for this World Cup. You're talking about Shivam Dube, and there was little concern around, whether he's going to deliver, not deliver. Is he feeling the pressure of the international big stage? But he's come good in today's game. With be it Rohit and Virat opening, all those kind of aspects, bringing in Aksar and fitting him in the playing 11 right now, in spite of Kuldeep also being there, So all those things, it's a thought process and a discussion which goes on for a long time. And when it comes good, you feel good that everything is happening according to your plan. So when these things happen, you also need to go back and respect the fact that, what kind of thought process, what kind of work each and every individual who is involved in setting up the team for the big tournament like this has just come true.
Gilly, do you think Bangladesh missed a trick? They started with 2 spinners when they started the bowling attack. We understand matchups. We spoke about matchups in the pre-match show. But do you think they missed a trick by doing 2 spinners?
Yeah, I do. I get it. Maybe first over. Mahedi did a good job. I mean, his numbers there are excellent. But and I guess you could say Shakib ended up getting Rohit, but it came at a little bit of a price. And I think those runs in those first 3-4 overs will prove to be quite valuable today, given the pitch conditions. So there is a propensity to... I think that the term match-up, the analyst contribution in this day and age of cricket, whilst valuable and handy, it's an asset that you have there or a resource that's on offer, but I think it's probably limiting to some extent some of the captaincy skills.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit too much sort of programmed cricket going on, and a little bit of the natural flow of a game and the nous and the intuition of a captain is just as a general statement.
As in, you shouldn't move away from your strengths, right?
Yeah,
because your strength has been going with the fizz and...
Yep,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so that we'll wait and see. That we don't know the thought process. We can only speculate, but as an observation sitting out, it probably looked like maybe the fizz should have been in there, and particularly because we highlighted the left arm stuff, didn't we, before game?
It just gave me a feeling that it was a defensive approach rather than being aggressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you feel that you're not thinking wickets. You're thinking of just making things difficult for these 2 openers and looking at the reputation. The matchup was also a left-arm seamer bowling to Rohit, isn't it? We did touch upon on that. So even if you have to go by data, you could have actually, sometimes you overdo things. We've seen that in the game Australia-England, where Moeen Ali and Will Jacks bowled those 2 overs just because the 2 left-handers were there out at the crease. You at times overthink things and overlook the conditions. Yeah. I think in this World Cup, we've seen the conditions have enough help to offer to the bowlers. And you got to make use of that and then find that right balance of looking at the matchups, looking at the data, but also giving respect to the conditions and maximizing those conditions in your benefit.
Well, Bangladesh need to find that balance because no one has chased more than 180 on this ground. So if they want to keep their hopes alive, they not only need to win, but also rewrite history. So they have a lot to do. Before we get to our guessing game, we have to applaud for the winners on our last. Well done, Gilly.
Almost bullseye.
2. Almost bullseye. Well done to you.
I did say, I don't want to be too ruthless about this, but... and you got a point too yourself.
I did.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
But I missed the bullseye by 1 run. But knowing that GK on the Hindi show missed the complete point by 2 runs, that gives me much more pleasure.
More joy, doesn't it? We'll let you go first, Gilly, because you missed by 1. So you'll get the bullseye hopefully this time.
I'm going a little bit conservative. I'm going 40.
All right.
I was also thinking 40.
Yeah, I was thinking thereabout.
Okay, I'm going 42.
40, 42, I'm going 38.
Oh. Right.
We spoke a lot about Bumrah. Like I said, I had more questions to ask about Bumrah if we had more time. So hopefully he comes and does what Bumrah does. We'll find out if he does. And we'll give you all the updates at the 10 over point. So do join us there.